Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our meeting this morning. Good morning to you on Monday. Today, you must forgive me because I have a bit of a cold. As you can probably hear, my voice is not completely, but almost gone. So I cannot really speak very loudly. So please forgive me for this. But I will do my best for today. I also have a bit of a cough, and I hope that this will not disturb our meeting here. Good morning, Pav. Good morning, and Arena here. My energy is a little bit low today. I am sorry for this, but I hope that you will stay with me today and you will enjoy this lesson very much. I hope that you had a good weekend and I hope that you did quite a few things. So let me know in the comments what you did. Rina, hi, good morning. Let me know, let's chat a little bit about your weekend and how you are today, what's going on with you today. I had a very good weekend. I had a brilliant weekend actually, because I went to Poland for a weekend. It's a bit of a long way. But it was amazing. It was great. I went because it was my birthday on Friday, but it's also a birthday of my friend, of my best friend, one of my good friends. And he's a bit younger than me, so he organized a big party for his 40th, and in a small town on the coast. And it was amazing. It was one of the best parties I have been, and it was really, really amazing. We partied until 4 o'clock in the morning, if you can imagine that. 4 a.m. So for me, it's very, very late because I never stay up so late. But the party was really, really good. But of course, because of the party, my voice is gone. Also, Poland is very cold. You didn't tell me that, but it was really cold on Thursday when we arrived, and Friday was okay, but it was very windy and there was a cold wind. So I got a cold, my husband has a cold, but it was worth it. Good morning, Isabella, Monica. And Pav says happy birthday to me. Thank you very much. I of course, it's it was my best friend's birthday party, but it was also my celebration as well, and I also had a good time. It was really great. Wish you everything you want, Isabella. Thank you very much. I hope that it will come true, Isabella. Thank you. It was a great weekend, really nice. I also had, for my birthday, I had a gofry. I ate a lot of Polish food, pierogi, schabowy. What else did I eat? At the birthday party, we had a lot of food. So we had śledź, we had herring, also the potato salad, Polish style. It was very, very good. I really loved it. I had my tummy full, so it was very great. And Rena says, all the best and happy birthday. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Today, as I said, my energy is quite low and my voice is like this. So I am trying to speak very, quiet, so I don't strain my voice too much. But I hope it is going to be okay for you guys and you can stay with me here. Monica says, I had a nice weekend. I organized bonfire and met my friends. Lovely. I love bonfires. It's something that I haven't done for a very, very long time. But when I was at my home, When I was younger and I was at home with my parents, we had bonfires in Poland and in the summer a lot. We had, my parents have a garden, so we had a place for the bonfire and it was always very nice. I love it. Witam Was bardzo serdecznie. Jak wspomniałam już wcześniej, mój głos jest troszeczkę dzisiaj taki, wiecie, cichy, nie mogę go podnosić więcej niż teraz, dlatego że po prostu nie mogę, nie jest to możliwe. Przeziębiłam się trochę w Polsce niestety, bo w Polsce troszeczkę mnie przewiało i głos taki mam, jaki mam. Poza tym chyba ta impreza mnie tak, bo wiecie, rozmowy, przekrzykiwanie się przy głośnej muzyce, wiecie jak to jest, to chyba też dało mi nieźle w kość, ale mam nadzieję, że mnie jest dosyć dobrze słychać i że jest okej, że nie jest najgorzej. Dzisiaj będziemy sobie mówić o motywacji w języku angielskim. Ja przeważnie robię Wam takie wykłady po polsku, ale dzisiaj będzie wszystko po angielsku. Będziemy sobie tłumaczyć pewne rzeczy, będziecie mieli slajdy, będziecie mogli sobie zobaczyć na slajdach. Oczywiście Instagram nie za bardzo tutaj, ale reszta z Was będzie mogła sobie patrzeć na slajdy, jeżeli nie będziecie czegoś rozumieć. I będziemy sobie właśnie rozmawiać o motywacji, więc to taki bardziej wykład, ale również zachęcam Was do tego, żeby brać udział w dyskusji, żeby dzielić się tym, jak to u Was jest, jaka jest Wasza perspektywa, bo to też jest ważne również dla mnie, bo im więcej ja wiem o Was i o Waszych problemach, tym mogę Wam bardziej pomóc w takich przypadkach. Myślę, że to jest bardzo ważne dla mnie. Ale oczywiście, zanim przejdziemy, to parę ogłoszeń parafialnych, moi drodzy. Więc pierwsze co, bootcamp. I dopiero co skończyliśmy jedną edycję i już zaczynamy kolejną. Teraz przez 2 dni macie zniżkę na kolejny bootcamp. Kolejny kurs zaczyna się bardzo szybko, już w następnym tygodniu, 12. Już są pierwsze zajęcia. Także dzisiaj na przykład w tym tygodniu się zapisujecie i już w następnym tygodniu macie kurs rozpoczęty. W niedzielę spotykamy się również ze mną, czyli w zasadzie ta grupowa lekcja ze mną jest zawsze w niedzielę przed bootcampem. W razie, gdyby ktoś miał jakieś wątpliwości, chciałby o coś zapytać, to zawsze jest najpierw ze mną zajęcia, więc można powiedzieć, że w zasadzie już w niedzielę się zaczyna ten kurs. Natomiast zajęcia 1 na 1 zaczynają się od poniedziałku. Dzisiaj możecie się zapisać ze zniżką do 7 czerwca do godziny 20. Czyli macie w zasadzie 3 dni, żeby się zapisać. Od dzisiaj do 7 do godziny 20 macie cenę dla uczniów 1950 zł i dla osób, które są spoza OK English, nigdy się z nami nie uczyły, 2000 zł. Jeżeli zapiszecie się po 7, po godzinie 20, to cena już skoczy do 2200 zł. Także oszczędzacie dzisiaj do 7. I w bootcampie, tak jak zawsze, macie 16 zajęć 1 na 1 z native'em, 4 zajęcia grupowe z native speakerami z południowej Afryki, z Anglii i ze Stanów Zjednoczonych oraz te jedne zajęcia ze mną. I te zajęcia grupowe są przeważnie wieczorami, natomiast zajęcia 1 na 1, no to sobie ustalamy indywidualnie, jak tam Wam pasuje, czy rano, czy wieczorem, czy w różnych porach. Do tego macie oczywiście bonusy, rozgrzewkę przed bootcampem, taką interaktywną. Jeżeli jeszcze nie braliście udziału w naszym tutaj bootcampie, to otrzymujecie również dostęp do platformy online. No i wszystkie materiały, lekcje dopasowane są do Was, do Waszego poziomu, do tego, co chcecie osiągnąć. Również skupiamy się na tym, żeby nauczyć Was mówić w języku angielskim, żebyście się rozkręcili, żebyście zaczęli mówić, więc mówienia jest tutaj po prostu masa, naprawdę. No, w zasadzie w ciągu tygodnia macie prawie codziennie zajęcia, no to żeby się nie rozkręcić w ciągu tego czasu, to naprawdę byłby cud, więc to naprawdę Was rozkręca i daje Wam takiego kopa do działania. Marzena mówi, I would like to recommend bootcamp. It's first way of learning English. Marzena właśnie skończyła kurs bootcampowy. W zasadzie przez niego przebiegła, fantastycznie dała sobie radę i mówi, że poleca, więc myślę, że możecie polegać tutaj na opinii Marzeny, dlatego że no, ona świeżynka, pierwszy raz dopiero co skończyła, także naprawdę jeżeli chcecie, fantastic way, yes, Marzena, więc jeżeli chcecie sobie podszkolić jeszcze teraz przed wakacjami angielski, to naprawdę chyba nie ma lepszego sposobu na to, żeby to zrobić właśnie przez bootcamp. Na Instagramie oczywiście wrzucę to później linki, bo teraz nie mogę tego zrobić niestety, natomiast tutaj już Wam wrzucam link do strony internetowej i na stronie już jest też możliwość zapisywania się na kurs, więc nie musicie do mnie pisać ani nic, możecie od razu zapisać się przez formularz zgłoszeniowy, dokonać płatności i już resztę robię ja. Cały zapis, całą resztę robię sama i przesyłam Wam potwierdzenia i wszystko inne. Także naprawdę polecam Wam. Tak jak mówię, dzisiaj jeszcze przez 3 dni do 7 do godziny 20 macie zniżkę. Później już cena skacze do góry i zaczynamy w poniedziałek. Jeszcze kolejną rzecz mogę dodać, że po tym kursie dostajecie też zniżki na zajęcia 1 na 1, już takie mniej intensywne, więc jeżeli będziecie chcieli kontynuować, to możecie. Z ostatniego bootcampu naprawdę sporo osób zostało z nami i wykupiło zajęcia 1 na 1, nawet parę, chyba ze 3 osoby zdecydowały się na kontynuowanie bootcampu, także widzę nawet po tym, że to faktycznie działa, że to faktycznie daje coś i że to faktycznie przynosi efekty i że te osoby chcą z nami zostać. To jest dla mnie najlepszy znak na to, że im się podobało, że są zadowoleni, że wszystko gra i buczy. Kolejną rzeczą, którą chciałam Wam polecić, to jest rzecz darmowa, która ostatnio pojawiła się na YouTubie i to jest prawdziwa konwersacja. To jest taka seria wideo, które robię, gdzie analizuję rozmowy. I tutaj czasami są to rozmowy, które ja przeprowadzam z kimś, czasami są to rozmowy, które gdzieś tam znajdę w internecie. I tym razem rozłożyłam na czynniki pierwsze prawdziwą konwersację, wywiad z Harrisonem Fordem i Ryanem Goslingiem, z 2 aktorami, którzy udzielili wywiadu brytyjskiej śniadaniówce i osoba, która jest z tej brytyjskiej śniadaniówki, no ma taki bardzo brytyjski akcent, oczywiście aktorzy mają bardzo amerykański akcent. Ze względu na tam prawa autorskie i tak dalej, nie mogłam za bardzo tego wrzucić całego, ale podzieliłam to na takie segmenty i myślę, że to też jest bardzo fajna rzecz i to fajnie wyszło, więc polecam Wam te wideo na naszym kanale YouTube okenglish.pl, jeżeli jeszcze nie skorzystaliście z tego nagrania. Marzena says I have to drive. I'll join you in 15 minutes. See you soon. Okay, safe drive. And Agnieszka, hello everyone and happy birthday to you. Asia, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate your wishes and appreciate that you are taking the time to type them. Thank you so much. Okay. Dobrze, moi drodzy, więc dzisiaj rozmawiamy sobie o motywacji w języku angielskim. Tak jak mówiłam, całość będzie po angielsku, ale będziemy sobie przerywać i mówić troszeczkę po polsku dla tych, którzy są na niższym poziomie i potrzebują troszeczkę wytłumaczenia, to czasami czas od czasu będę przerywać i będę mówić po polsku. Okay, so the first question I have for you is, what methods do you use to learn English? Let me know in the comments. This is a very important question for me because I want to know how you do it. So let me know in the comments what methods or how do you learn English? Do you have something that you decided that works for you and you want to do this all the time, or you do this all the time and you see results? Let me know in the comments. So I'm going to wait a little bit, but I want to tell you one thing. There is no real good method to learn English. Everyone is different and everyone uses different methods depending on your age, depending on how you want to learn, depending on your time, on your circumstances, you know, depending on many things. So it can vary. What works for me, for example, when I learn a language might not work for you. And it is important to try different things and play with all the methods and see what actually works for you. So as I said, you know, one person can use an application if you are a beginner. Another person might use something else, right? So they might use just a notebook or a book, and that works for them. One person watches movies and that works for them and they don't have to do much else, but you have to, for example, it doesn't work for you, so you have to use books or use other methods to learn how to listen. So please remember about this, right? If you hear about some amazing methods that works for your colleague or your friend, and it doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean that you're stupid, or it doesn't mean that you have less skills. It's just not for you. So I hope this is clear, because sometimes I think we try to follow each other, we compare ourselves to other people, and we think, oh, this method really worked for Gosia, and Gosia speaks really great English, and you know, she is amazing, and I don't see any results. This doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means that it's not your method. That's all. Więc dajcie znać o waszych metodach, o waszych sposobach na naukę. I jak już mówiłam, nie porównujmy się do siebie, tak, że dla kogoś jedna metoda była super i zapisali się na przykład na bootcamp i po prostu to było dla nich, oni są zachwyceni na przykład kursem, a dla mnie ten kurs nie zadziałał, to nie znaczy, że z wami jest coś nie tak. To być może nie jest metoda dla was. I tak jest ze wszystkim, tak? Ze wszystkimi metodami, ze wszystkimi rzeczami, których używamy do nauki języka. Więc najgorsze, co możemy w tym zrobić, to się po prostu porównywać. Nie ma jednej dobrej metody na naukę. Są różne metody, są różni nauczyciele, naprawdę metod jest bardzo, bardzo dużo. Można je mieszać, można tylko skupić się na jednej rzeczy. I to, że dla jednej osoby coś działa, drugiej nie, to nie znaczy, że jedna jest lepsza, druga jest gorsza. Po prostu jesteśmy inni, mamy inne potrzeby, inne umiejętności i po prostu tutaj tylko chodzi o to, żeby skupić się na czymś, co dla nas działa i samemu po prostu próbować. Let's see. Claudia says, I love watching TV series in English, and for me the best is watching Friends. I like watch things on YouTube. Bob Canadian. Okay, very good. Pav says, every day I spend at least half an hour learning English, watching lectures of various teachers on the internet. Perfect, very nice. So here we have Claudia that says that watching TV series is very good for her. And I think, watching TV series is a great method of learning, especially if you have your favorite TV show, because, for example, she likes Friends, and this is amazing. I think it's really a great show to watch when you watch, especially if you are not sure about your level, or if you are on a lower level. Friends are great, but also we have so many other TV shows that we can watch, and this is really good for listening skills, for understanding, for learning pronunciation, for learning the tone. Even learning the accent, if you want to have an accent. I'm sorry, my nose is dripping a bit. Sorry about that. Gosia says she likes, and also Pav says that he likes also to watch lectures on the internet or on YouTube, and learning from teachers, from different teachers. This is also a really good method, I think. To learn, and it's the same. It's almost the same as learning from TV shows. Maybe a little bit different, because if you watch on YouTube, you can also leave a comment, and this is good for your writing skills as well. If you watch, for example, English Breakfast here, and you come to live videos, you can interact live, so you can interact with me, almost like speaking. Well, you have to write, of course, it's not the same, but it's also, you have to do it fast, so it is also a very good practice. And finally, I have learned one-on-one lessons, and finally I have been learning on one-on-one basis, we say. And so I have been attending one-on-one lessons for 1 month. Gosia, for 1 month. Of course, lessons are the best. I think conversation lessons are really great. Probably the best thing you can do. You can give yourself as a English learner. Rena says, I don't like learning alone. It's always easier for me to talk to other people, even online. Sometimes my friend and I speak English, so I can practice my English on the phone. Rena, on the phone. Yeah, exactly. Watching TV, watching YouTube is great, but of course, there's nothing like real conversation. There's nothing like that. If you don't speak, you will not speak. So you have to speak to other people to be able to speak in the future, of to learn how to speak English. So let's have a look at some of your problems. Okay, so you learn for a long time and you don't see results. Okay, so I have to move you a little bit because I cannot see the writing, just for a bit. So you learn for a long time and don't see results. You learned in the past and now you need to improve. And you cannot speak, you are not able to speak. You know a lot of things, but you cannot speak. You are afraid of making mistakes and you don't improve. You are not improving, and you have reached so-called plateau. So these are very common problems that I hear from people that come to OK English. A lot of you guys have the same problem. You think that you are alone, but you are not alone. A lot of you who come here also have the same problem. Simply, you don't see results, or you cannot speak, even though you learned before. You are learning and you still have that barrier. So this is a very common problem. This is something that all our students, at least they have one of these problems. They're talking about one of these problems. If you have other problems, let me know in the comments, because also always it's very important for me to know what you're struggling with. So if you have different problems or other problems, something that I haven't mentioned, let me know. Pav says, I'm taking a conversation course now, a quarter of an hour every day. Wow, that's really great. Really great. Good decision, Pav. Good decision. So what is the reason for these things? So what are the reasons for these problems that I mentioned? Well, the first one is that you start learning, you make a decision to start learning, and then you stop. And you do that all the time. So it's not only one time, but a lot of the students that come to OK English do the same thing. They start one day, they do like a couple of lessons, or they do a month, then they stop, and then they don't show up for, let's say, 3 months, and then they start again. Or, for example, you decide to, okay, so from now on, I am going to learn from YouTube, and I'm going to learn English every day from watching YouTube. And you do that for 2 weeks, and then you get bored, and you stop. Few months pass by, you do that again. This is a very, very common mistake, and something that you shouldn't do, because there is no point of learning something, then stopping, and then starting again. So imagine that you would train to be a doctor, for example. If someone wants to be a doctor, they go to a university, they learn for 2 weeks, they decide that this is boring and not going to do it again. Then they have 2 months break, and then they start again, and they do that all the time. After the break, they already forgot what they learned during the first 2 weeks, so they have to start again, and again and again and again. So every time you have to go back. You haven't learned anything during this time. So what is the point of doing that? This is a waste of money and your energy and your time. Remember about that. If you decide to learn, stick to it. You start to learn, you do a course, you learn from YouTube, I don't know, you learn from whatever source, stick to it. Don't stop, okay? This is really, really important. So remember about that, okay? I just need to, maybe like this, could be. Okay, maybe like that. That is better. Okay, I think. All right, so a lot of you also complain about motivation. You say that you lack motivation. You are not, you don't have enough motivation to learn consistently. Now, motivation is important. That's a very good thing to have, but motivation is not going to stay with you all the time. Motivation will be with you only at the beginning. So at the beginning, you will be very excited about taking the course. You will be amazed by it. You will be excited. So it will be a great thing for you. You will be like, oh my God, I just signed up to this course. I'm so excited. But after a while, motivation is going to disappear. And to what then? If you don't feel motivated, if you feel lazy, if you have excuses why you don't want to do something, what are you going to do then? So this is a very important thing, that when you start a course, when you start something, tell yourself, okay, I am motivated now, but I will not be motivated later. This will disappear. So I need to be ready for this. If there is no motivation and I feel lazy, or I feel not motivated enough to go to a lesson or to do my homework, then I have to make myself do that. okay? I have to rely on my habits. So for the first few weeks, when you start your course, try to do things at a certain time. Try to do it every day. Try to do it at the same time of the day. Work on that, on your habits. Do it consistently. Do it systematically. And when a day comes when you feel, I cannot really do this today, I feel very demotivated, I feel like I don't want to do it, just you have to make yourself. There is no other way of doing it. You just have to do it. You must do it. So you drag yourself out to your desk, to the lesson, and you do it. And it's going to pay off, I'm telling you. Also remember, this is exactly like with diet and with sports. When you go on a diet or when you decide to exercise, you want to do it. You are very motivated. You go to the gym every day. You eat salads all the time. And you are very motivated. You want to do it. You want to lose weight. You want to be healthy. But the time comes one day when you decide, well, not decide, but when you feel like you cannot do it. You can't be bothered to do it. So you stop, right? And then you don't lose weight. You just you put on weight again. You go back to what it was. But if you can make yourself do it, when you tell yourself, okay, I am lazy today, I don't feel like exercising, but I will go for a walk. Just a little bit, just for half an hour. Or maybe I want to eat chocolate, but I will not eat chocolate. I will be strong today. I will not eat chocolate. Then you can be proud of yourself, right? After this, after you conquered this, after you did it, you can be proud of yourself. And this is exactly like with English. When you do it, you can be proud of yourself and you will be very happy that you did. Marzena says, speaking with native speakers, the best method to development, improving ourselves. Yes, I decided to do something with English every day after bootcamp. That is lovely, Marzena. Of course, Marzena, you are welcome to sign up for another bootcamp. It's still, if you want to do it, I would encourage you to do it. And I hope that you will join us again. Okay, so the next one is not practicing but learning theory. So very often with that, this is very common for people in Poland, for Polish students, because our education is like this, unfortunately. So at school, what do you learn? Theory, right? You don't really have lessons where they teach you how to speak, right? They don't have practice sessions. They don't really tell people how to use the language in a normal conversation. They just tell you how to use grammar. They tell you to learn vocabulary. They give you copies of exercises, and that's it. You just learn from theory. So if you learn only grammar and you have a book, books are of course very good. They teach you things. But if you are only doing books, then how are you supposed to learn how to speak? This is exactly the same, another comparison, but this is exactly the same as with cooking. So if you have a cookbook and you have a lot of recipes there and you read recipes and you want to bake a cake, let's say, and you read the recipe, if you read it, it doesn't mean that you can make it, right? You have to make the cake. You have to bake the cake to be able to make it. You have to make a lot of mistakes probably. The first time when you make it's probably not gonna be very good, right? But you have to practice, because reading a recipe it doesn't mean that you can cook or you can bake a cake. So exactly the same with English. If you only use theory, if you only learn from books, this is not going to work. So you have to speak, you have to practice. Another one is that you don't have a contact with the language. So a lot of you that come to OK English had lessons at school, and that was your only contact with the language. So you are very good with grammar, you are very good with some of the vocabulary, but you cannot really use it because you have never used it outside of your classroom. Maybe sometimes during your holidays when you went to a hotel or you had to ask for something abroad, maybe. But a lot of you don't really have contact with the language. So if you don't have contact with the language after you graduated from school, of course you forget a lot. You don't know how to use it. You remember something, but you don't know how to put it together. You cannot think. A lot of you have the problem that you know a lot, but you cannot use it in life because you cannot think so fast, right? You cannot put the language that you know, the words, the grammar and everything, you cannot put this in a sentence very quickly. So it takes you a long time. You struggle to say a full sentence very quickly. So this is exactly what it is. The lack of contact with the language. You don't have contact with the language, so you cannot really use it. And the last one that I came up with, you don't challenge yourself enough. You are stuck with the same methods and the same exercises. So this is something that happens when you reach a plateau. Plateau is the same as in sports or dieting. So, for example, you are on a diet for a long time, and you lose weight, and then there is a point where you just stay on the same level because there's no other way of losing weight or gaining muscles. So you have to change your training. For example, you have to change your diet to be able to lose more or gain more muscles. So this is the same with English. Very often, if you do the same things all the time, you improve until a certain level, a certain point, and then you just don't really achieve anything after. So if you have this problem, then it's time to think about something. So very often, for example, signing up to do a certificate is a very good method of improving further. So even in motivating yourself too. So for example, all the Cambridge certificates, advanced Cambridge or TOEFL, or one of those certificates, preparing for them will give you that boost of going further, but also improving more and just going through that plateau and going to the next level. And of course, if you pass a certificate, if you get a certificate, then it's an extra motivation for you, and you can be proud of yourself. You have something on paper that you actually achieved something. So this is a good thing to do. Marzena says, I've been very motivated now. I am very glad. Bootcamp does that to you. And bootcamp motivates a lot. So when you finish, you are even more motivated to do more than you were before. So let's have a look at the solutions for these problems and what you can do. So as I said before, there is no one solution. Everyone is different, learns differently. So you have to try to adjust the method to your life and to your schedule and to your skills. If you have less time and someone has more time, then of course your learning will be different. So you have to think about, how much time do I have? How much money do I have? How much energy do I have? Can I do it? So think about all these things and remember that there are many, many methods, and there is not one that is great for everyone. So we are all different, and we have to try different things to find that one thing that suits us. So, for example, when your problem is you start and stop because you lack time, motivation, or other things. So let's say that you are one of those people that start and learn and then stop, and then there is a long break, and then you start again. So the first thing that you have to do is to tell yourself that this is a long process. Learning a language it's not a sprint, okay? It's a marathon. So it's something that will be there with you for a long time, probably forever. Polish lectors, Polish teachers like me, we are also still learning. We are teaching you English. I teach you English, but of course I am also a learner. I am also a person who learns constantly. I learn from movies. I learn differently than you. I don't have to go to lessons anymore. I can learn by myself because my level is, and also I have a lot of opportunities to learn. So I can, do it all the time and every day. But I learn from speaking to people. I have a lot of friends from different countries, so I learn from them, but I also learn from movies, I also learn from YouTube, I also learn from reading books, so I am also still learning. So we have to tell ourselves, this is going to be with me for a long time, and there's no way that I can stop. Plan your learning process. This is also very important. Plan your learning. Choose something that works for you. I don't care if it's 15 minutes, half an hour. We are all different. We have different needs. For example, Marzena is retired already, so she probably have more time to learn than someone who works full time and has a young family. Right? So Marzena, when it comes to Marzena's learning process, it will be different than from other people's, right? So you have to remember about that, but plan your days, plan your months, plan your years. What are you going to do? How it's going to look like? Another one is find someone who can help you planning, who will be a pleasant person and whom you will have lessons with. So here, if you need the lessons, because some of you might not need the lessons, but a lot of you will want to have the lessons. If you want to have lessons with a teacher, find someone who will make you smile, who will be nice, who you have a very good energy with. Because, for example, if Gosia wants to have lessons and Marzena tells her, you know what, Yaku is an amazing teacher. Go to Yaku, he's great. And Gosia goes to Yaku and they don't have good energy together because that can, that can be different. Yaku is a great teacher. He's very amazing. He's amazing. And, he is great. But for Gosia, maybe it's not going to work because maybe they have different energy and Gosia doesn't feel comfortable with him. So, and then it's okay. It doesn't matter that you feel this way because, or you feel worse than Marzena. If that is the case, change the teacher. Don't be afraid to ask. Go and ask to change the teacher and find the one that suits you best. Marzena says that Chase is the best teacher. And this is also good, Marzena, that you are mentioning that, because Chase is our teacher from America. He is great. I think he's a very good teacher. But he had a student and during boot camp, and the student didn't really feel good energy with him, and she thought that she didn't really feel great during the lessons, and she asked to change the teacher. She went to I gave her a different teacher, and she was very happy with that. So for Marzena, Chase was great, but for another student, Chase wasn't that great. She had to change to someone else, and now she's happy. So this is all depends on you, your energy, how you interact with each other. Marzena says, friendly, open-minded, brilliant, cool. He encouraged me to speak and taught me a lot. Gosia says, yes, I have a big problem with planning. Yeah, planning is, I must say that it's something that should happen there. You know, it doesn't have to be, I am a planner. I love planning. And I always have my calendar with me and my notebooks with me and everything. And I write everything in my calendar. But you don't have to do it. I think if you work on your schedule as your habits and your daily routine, and you try different things and you finally find something that works for you, this is amazing, right? And I think you don't have to write it down, but if you have a daily routine, you work on your daily routine, then you are halfway there. This is already solved. So another thing is, of course, also ask your teacher to help you plan. If you don't know how to plan, ask your teacher. Maybe they have some ideas, and I'm sure that teachers always have good ideas when it comes to learning and how to plan it, because they've been doing that for a long time. So do it. I like this. Agnieszka says, okay, English is full of great teachers. Alana is my favorite teacher. Alana is also great. I am also sure. She's been with us the longest at the moment, and she was one of the first ones that I hired, and Alana is amazing. I love working with her. She's really great. I got used to lessons with Chase, bootcamp, I don't know what that, a great routine. Another thing, yes, bootcamp is good for routines. If you want to have a routine, bootcamp will help you with that routine, and will show you how you can learn English and how to organize your lessons. I think, one of the advantages of signing up to bootcamp is that it will help you to do that. And another thing is, don't rely only on your motivation. Don't do it. I know that a lot of you are very motivated to work at the beginning, but then you got tired. This is why outside of bootcamp, we have lessons, 5 or 10 lessons, but only once a week. Because before we had twice a week, and people got very, very excited. And then at the end, they were asking if they can change it because they cannot do twice a week. So a lot of people did that. And this is why I changed it to once a week. Because once a week is just, I think it's the best. It works the best. If you want to have consistent lessons, you don't want to be too tired, you want to continue all the time, once a week is really the best solution here. So don't rely only on your motivation. Have habits, decide that it will take you a long time. Understand that there will be days when you will not want to work, you will not want to learn. So you have to be prepared for that. And if you are, then you will do it, you will make yourself do it, you will force yourself to do it, and you'll be fine. Marzena says our last lesson was great too, a bit emotional. Yes, when you say goodbye to your teacher, it is a bit emotional for sure. Sometimes when you get used to it, to lessons together for sure. Okay, if you don't learn for a long time and you want to go back to learning again, first thing you need to do is to check your level. If you don't know your level, there are lots of tests you can do online. These tests, of course, don't really tell you which level you are on, but they will help you to understand your level. And this is a very good thing to start from. So check your level first. And start from finding a teacher. Because I think, if you want a course, if you really want to start learning, and if you really want to do it on a regular basis, then a teacher will help you out with that. At the beginning, at least. So start from finding a teacher. And remember that if you are looking for someone to do lessons with, remember that sometimes it takes a long time. So if you sign up to one teacher and it doesn't work, there's something wrong, you feel that this teacher doesn't really suit you, try someone else. And until you find that person that really suits you. So try different teachers, try different courses, just be open to different things. Plan your learning, again, planning, and know what you want to achieve. So what do you want, really? And how much time do you have to achieve that? This is very important too. So if you're signing up for lessons, maybe you only want to communicate when you travel. Maybe you only want to communicate in certain situations. Decide how you're going to achieve it, how much time you have, what is your goal, what do you want to achieve. Okay, next one, know that miracles won't happen. So in learning a language, there are no miracles. This is only hard work. Your hard work, the teacher's hard work, you cannot really, there is nothing that can miraculously happen for you. Maybe in the future we will have some implants in our brains or something that will help us to achieve certain things, maybe. But for now, we have to learn, we have to spend time on it, we have to practice. There are no miracles, you have to just put some hard work into it. Speak as much as possible. Yes, speaking will motivate you. If you learn something and then you go somewhere and you can speak a little bit, you can communicate and you can see the difference, this is the best motivation. Also, speaking, of course, will make you make mistakes, but we learn on our mistakes and we can improve and we will be better in the future. Okay, so if you know only grammar, but you cannot use it when you're speaking, so you only know theory, you are very good at knowing the theory, you are very good with grammar, you are very good with vocabulary, but you still cannot speak. So, first thing, why? Why cannot you speak? Why can't you speak? What is wrong there that you cannot communicate with other people? Think about it. Why is that? Is it because you are afraid? Is it because you are not afraid but you get nervous? Maybe you get frustrated. Or maybe because you've never spoken to anyone. Because you finished school, you passed some exams, but you had never an opportunity to speak. So think about why you cannot speak. What is the reason for that? And what can you change in this? So if you have a reason, what can you change? So what do you need? What do you need? What do you need to be able to speak? Do you need lessons? Do you need maybe to work on your self-confidence? Because sometimes it's not the matter of, sometimes it is possible that you come to conversation classes, you learn a lot, but you still cannot speak. So maybe there's something inside you that is not very confident. And so maybe this is not only about you knowing and speaking English. Maybe this is something with your personality. Maybe something that tells you that you are stupid, rubbish, you will never learn a language, and you will be always on the same level. So maybe you have to work on that with a therapist, or maybe you need to read some books about self-development. I don't know. But think about what can you change. And how can you find someone to speak to? So there are so many opportunities. You can have an exchange partner, you can sign up for lessons, you can go abroad many times. You know, there are many things that you can do to speak, because if you know a lot of theory, if you know a lot of grammar, but you cannot speak, then probably the reason is that you don't have an opportunity to speak. So you have to try and speak. Okay, so if you are stuck on the same level, so try to think, is it true, and how do you know this? Is it true really that you are on the same level all the time? Or is this your opinion? Did your teacher tell you, or someone else told you? Or how do you know this? Sometimes we only think about from our perspective. So the teacher can say, oh, you achieved a lot, you are really doing great, and you don't believe it. If this is the case, then start believing it if a teacher told you. If it's true, why do you think it is? Okay, so maybe it is true that you are all the time on the same level, but why? There must be a reason for that. So is it because you don't speak? Is it because you don't learn? Is it because you don't care? Is it because you've never spoken to anyone? So why do you think it is? So change something in your learning. Maybe you need a change. Maybe you need a change of course. Maybe you need a change of a teacher. Maybe you need a change of learning methods. Maybe books. Maybe, I don't know, something, right? Maybe you need to go somewhere. Abroad, for example, for a while. If you want, if you can. Right? Not everyone can, but maybe you can. Maybe you should do that. And challenge yourself. Challenge yourself more by speaking, listening, finding people to talk to, right? Do more and try to do more difficult things. Tell yourself that you are going to focus on something that will challenge you. Don't be afraid of a challenge. Go an extra mile. Go somewhere, do something that is more difficult than it was before. This is also very good. Of course, not for everyone, but you have to think if you can do it, right? So if you only learn by yourself from books, from TV, I'm sorry, from YouTube, then maybe it's time to speak. Maybe you should find a method where you can speak. Okay, so this will be a challenge. Okay, let me have a look at your making plans. Marek says, making plans is a waste of time. You plan a lot and most of plans will never happen. I don't agree with that completely. Why they don't happen? Do you know why? Why we make plans and they don't happen? Not only with, here we can talk about other things too. Because we plan wrong. We plan too much. We don't think about it like reasonably. We don't have it. It's very unreasonable. So if this is the same with everything. So if you decide to go on a diet and you decide that you are going to be exercising 5 days a week, you've never exercised in your life, and now you decided that you are going to exercise 5 days a week, you are going to go on a diet and eat only salad, of course we will fail. It will never happen, right? because it's too much. You know, if you've never exercised and you want to exercise 5 days a week, it's not going to be possible. It's the same with English. It's the same with learning. If you haven't learned for a long time and you're going back to learning, and now you decide that you're going to go to do a course, you're going to read books, watch movies, I don't know, you have all these things, you will fail. I can tell you, you will give up after a few weeks. Why? Because it's too much. You haven't considered that you have a job, you have a family, you have many other things, right? So, you know, of course it will never happen. So you have to take small steps, one by one. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be, you know, hours and hours of working. It can be a little bit here and there, and you'll be fine. So remember that if you plan reasonably. Don't go like, overboard with everything, right? And it will happen for you, I'm sure. I am also guilty of this because I love planning, but very often if I plan, for example, my work, when I plan my work, I want to plan so much and I want to do so much, but at the end of the day, I am the only one and I cannot do more. And then I'm really disappointed in myself because I planned all these great things and I cannot do them. Of course I cannot do them because I don't have time for them, right? So remember to plan reasonably. Marek says that he has tracheotomia. Sorry to hear that, and I'm sorry that you have that. Marzena, speaking English or other language is the best gym for my mind. Speaking or learning a language, this is a really good point, Marzena. Just learning a language. It doesn't have to be, anything like just learning a little bit here and there during the day. This is great for developing your mind. This is absolutely true, Marzena. And also, learning a language, this is something that doctors recommend for people when in adult life, because it helps to fight different diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and all that. And learning a language, even simple things, remembering, trying to remember colors, words and things like that, it's really good to avoid these diseases. Okay, so the question for the end is, what will you change today? What will you do to improve your language? What will you change today, and what will you do to improve your language? Or maybe you're doing something already. So let me know in the comments, what will you do? I am very, of course, curious as always. Marzena says that she's an elder lady. Oh, come on, not that old, come on. You are retired already, you have more time. But of course, it's great. And in any age, learning a language is good. Not only when we are young, but when we are older, it is really good for us. I really recommend you to do that. Gosia says, it would be super if we can motivate each other on OK English. For example, what did you do last week? We can do that, for example, during our breakfasts, if you want. I will put that in. So during breakfast, we can all share what we did last week to improve our English. That's a very good idea, Gosia. I think I will put that in the lessons. Dobrze, moi drodzy, to co na koniec? Na koniec oczywiście poproszę o serducha, kciuki w górę, podzielenie się tym live'em z innymi. Jeżeli Wam się podobało, jeżeli Wam to dało kopa motywacyjnego i przyniosło różne przemyślenia. I'll watch Learning English with TV series on YouTube. It's my plan to improve English. That's a very good channel on YouTube. Recommended Learning English with TV series. If you have not seen it, or know it, it is great. So check it out on YouTube. I also recommend it. Moi drodzy, oczywiście na sam koniec jeszcze przypominam o zapisach na nasz intensywny kurs angielskiej konwersacji z native speakerem. Zapisy są teraz i zaczynamy już w poniedziałek. Więc jeżeli chcecie się zmotywować do nauki, bo bootcamp właśnie też Wam to przyniesie, że Was zmotywuje, tak jak Marzena mówiła, że się czuje zmotywowana po tym miesiącu ostatnim, więc to na pewno Wam da kopa motywacyjnego, ale oczywiście nauczy Was angielskiego, będziecie ćwiczyć rozmowę, czyli nie tylko teorię, my nie uczymy teorii, my uczymy mówienia i jest to kurs, który naprawdę przynosi rezultaty, który naprawdę Was wyciągnie na kolejny poziom być może lub wyciągnie z Was ten angielski, który już znacie, macie w głowie, ale nie potraficie go używać na przykład. Da Wam kopa motywacyjnego, przełamie Wasze bariery językowe. To jest naprawdę super program, który Was zanurzy w języku. Z 4 tygodnie nauki, 16 zajęć 1 na 1, 4 zajęcia grupowe z native speakerami, 1 zajęcia grupowe ze mną. Zaczynamy w poniedziałek, moi drodzy. Monica says, have a nice day everyone, happy birthday to you Asia, see you next month, thank you very much. And Rena here on Instagram, thanks Asia, thank you all for the common lesson and all the best once again, thank you so much. Thank you. After such a motivation, calories, breakfast, I know what I must do. I like that you said that it has calories. It's a good comparison. Thank you very much. Więc moi drodzy, czekam na Was na bootcampie. Mam nadzieję, że się zobaczymy na naszych lekcjach, że się zobaczymy tam. Naprawdę czekam na Was, moi drodzy. A zresztą się już żegnam i do następnego poniedziałku. Thank you very much for coming here today. It was a pleasure teaching you today, motivating you today. Have a great week, have a great Monday, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.